Hey guys, it's me again. So I am sharing the itinerary for Paris 2014. We spent 7 days there and we spent in really one hotel, and the hotel was a boutique hotel which was really nice because it was very close to the metro that goes within the city and also outside the city. Yeah, so that was really convenient, so that was good. So we spent day one, it was like we arrived there and we arrived in Paris and we did the Seine River cruise. The Seine River cruise is like not something that you really have to like reserve ahead of time. Honestly, we were just waiting for our check-in, and it was so close that it was like walking distance to the hotel. So then we went. It was probably the most jet lag. It wasn't jet lag. I was tired from the travel, the Seine cruise. It was nice. You could see a lot of things. Day two was we checked out some consignment store for some products. I mean, if you're in Paris, you kind of want to go shopping, right? And what's really nice is that during the night we did the authentic Paris cab tour. I actually got this from Groupon Paris, so I literally was copy pasting all the words and pasting it on Google Translate to see what they were saying, and it was so worth it because you basically go around. It's basically a private tour. You have your driver, you're in this like mini coupe. Is it a mini coupe car? And it was like, it was open, so you'd see a lot of things, and you could go through places that are narrow street, which is a lot in Paris. So it was so nice because then we get to see the Eiffel Tower like twinkle at night. We saw it was just really like kind of like special. We went to, I'm gonna mispronounce it, Montmartre, like with the church thing, and then like basically all the highlights that you want to see architectural wise, because you're gonna be outside. You're not gonna have time to actually go in and look at them, but you could see them from outside, take several pictures. This is like a thing to do. Day three was we went shopping. It's in La Village, which is outside Paris. It's basically an equivalent of oh man, I can't think of the name. Woodbury in New York, but they really have high end. Like they had Burberry, they had, I can't remember the other names. They didn't have Chanel because I was looking for Chanel. They have Yves Saint Laurent, YSL, and other things. We didn't get much. I know Alex was able to snag a pair of Burberry. It was like $200. It was like season over, but come on, Burberry for $200, that's pretty good. Then that night we went on a really nice dinner. It's called oh my god, I'm gonna make sure I give you the right name. It is Le Ciel de Paris. Is that the name? Nope. Is it? I just want to make sure. It's been for, yeah, it's Le Ciel de Paris, and it's so special because usually when you go to places, I like to look at the skyline of like the city, and this let you do that while eating really good food. This is probably the only place that I've been out of three places that I've been that has like the same idea of you're gonna eat in a restaurant that is far from the city so you see the view, that has really good food. Like this is like I really like, it's like I like their food, like up to now. Like I would highly recommend it if you want like a bit of a fancy dinner, or like, you know, a really good way to celebrate your last day in Paris. Yeah, so I would recommend in one of those days, and do make reservation if you can. I think for us it was like one of those things that we weren't sure, because it's a bit pricey. We weren't sure if you want to do it or not. And finally, when we were there, let's just do it because, you know, like, it's gonna be like we're not in Paris all the time, so we tried it, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. Then the next day we had lunch at Printemps. It's actually a shopping district, but if you actually go on the rooftop, it has a really nice view of Paris. You see the other side of Eiffel Tower, you see the other side, the other things. It's just a very picturesque place. Their lunch is like nothing too crazy, so, and they're a bit overpriced, I guess, for the place that where you're staying. So I recommend, like, if you could just get a drink or what and take a seat, like, I think you'll have like a good time. The mall itself is gorgeous. And then that night we went to, I'm not gonna pronounce it right, it's Moulin Rouge. It's very popular. It's one of those places that it's like you have to visit when you're in Paris. It's basically an equivalent of a Broadway show in New York, I guess, but it's a bit more flamboyant, I would say. I mean, they're half-dressed girls, but their act are really cool. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's the show. If you like shows, you like food, the food was pretty good. Then I would recommend it. And then the day 5 was actually, we went to so this is actually a recommendation of somebody who actually lived in Paris for several years, and it's a place where they have a lot of secondhand stuff, antique stuff. So if you're into those things, like if you're like designs and all of those things and like old stuff, if you like use like, they also have consignment stores, but it's really cool, like, to see places like that with kind of like old history. You see old paintings and stuff. We went there, so it's called it's Porte de Clignan Court. It's outside Paris. I feel like we would definitely like outside Paris, like, no doubt. And then we went to the Louvre Museum. That thing is massive. It's really pretty, but the thing's massive. I mean, you're gonna go there and you're gonna be like, what? So the recommendation was just like, go see the Mona Lisa and go out, because you're not gonna remember anything, which is true. But I think architectural wise, even outside, it was just like, oh, it was so pretty. Day 6 was one of my favorite things, was Palace of Versailles, which is it's really pretty. It's gorgeous. I highly recommend it. I opted out of going to the tourist area where they have a bus that goes from the city. We took the metro, which saved us like 70%, because like I think to go there per person is like 150 because of the bus. It was like overpriced, so we took that. It took us a while to find the palace. This was actually part of Paris that nobody really speak English, so as soon as you kind of could pronounce Versailles in a really, I guess, Parisian way, if you can, then you're good to go. But then after that, it was fine. But it was so fun, like that. It's one of my favorite things. I mean, just to go in the castle and see the actual lawn, the trimming, it is impeccable. Like, I don't know how they maintain that thing, but it is so pretty. And day 7 was just shopping. Shopping. So we just went around. If you're in Paris, you're gonna go shop, because take advantage of the VAT, the discount. So yeah. So Paris was really fun. I mean, it was good. I mean, again, this was a couple of years ago. The food though, like the other place, except from maybe 2-3 places, the other food that I tried, I wasn't too crazy about it. But the sweets, like, yeah, the sweets definitely recommend. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. And also, I think I have a few pictures from Paris. I don't have a lot on the vlog, on the blog, on like the personal blog that I have. Yeah, if you haven't yet, check out the itinerary information that I have for Portugal. I have Disney and Indonesia. So Disney World in Orlando, Indonesia, mostly Bali, and Portugal.